On this episode of the journal, Love is in the Air. Emotions are gonna fly as artists wave their brushes and squirrels disturb the peace. The dead rise and skeletons dance, and maybe a little more. Keep your eye on the screen, cause this show is gonna get mean.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Passes in a matter of seconds, and the heat and blast effects you can see and feel. You cannot sense the presence of nuclear radiation effects. Alpha and
Hello, minions of television. I'm the man with the master plan, Winston.
Hi, I'm Toni Francis. Your plans would eat bricks if it wasn't for my professional touch. Don't even lie.
Just roll the clip.
Hello?
Yo, I'm downstairs.
Alright.
What's up, guys? It's TJ Rogers. I'm 21 years old and I live in Whitby, Ontario. And this is my house. It's not much of a house, but you know, it's home, so whatever. It's chilling. And this is my room. It's pretty sick. It's definitely different than a normal average kid's house. Yeah, just got a bunch of skateboards everywhere. This is like one of my favorite boards that I've had. It's one of my favorite skateboarders. He's from Toronto, actually. His name's Morgan Smith. I ride for the same team as him. Finally got his first pro board, and this is it. I'm just super pumped on that. This check I got a couple years ago at a contest in Montreal, just for a best trick contest. It was pretty cool. All the pictures that I've ever had in magazine, from the very first one to the present. And this is like my very first one when I was 16 years old. This is the newest one. Which is in Oshawa at Durham College, if you guys have ever been there. It's pretty sweet. I was pretty stoked on it.
He wasn't really much into other sports. He always wanted to skateboard, and he wanted TJ to do something. All he had to do was threaten him, take away his skateboard, and you got it done. He just really loved his skateboard. It was a challenge for him to, you know, like if there was a new trick and he was trying to learn it, he would keep practicing until he got it. It was just something that it was TJ's, and nobody could take this away from TJ. When he accomplishes something, he feels good about himself, and he's been in quite a few magazines. I'm really proud of him for that. Like, you gotta be pretty freaking good to get into some magazines.
I started skating when I was about 8 to 9 years old. I was living with my mother at the time, and I went to the skate park every single day. I'd skate there and hang out all day, all night, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. Kind of summer days, you know. A couple years later, around like 10 to 11, I moved in with my dad because my mother, she had a outfalling. She had to leave town to do some stuff, and basically I lived with my dad for a while, and then he cut off a couple of his fingers at his house doing a job, and then ever since he like cut off his fingers, he had to sell his house, and then kind of everything went downhill. So we lived out of a motel for about 3 months. From there went to another place down in like South Whitby area, like near the ghetto. Lived there for a little bit, and I was still skating every day. Like, I was just trying to keep it really positive. I was still young. I didn't know exactly what was going on. So I just kind of was oblivious to it, and I just kept skating as much as I could every day. Just from there, you kind of fell off the top of the world. He had everything, and then kind of lost it. But I mean, he's starting to get back into it now. He finally got a job about a year ago. He's been working every day since, doing welding. You know, I'm just really happy for him. He's finally getting his shit together. When I graduated elementary school, I was just still living in a hotel at the time. And then I kind of got my first sponsor. It's an indoor skate park. It was called 905 in Oshawa near Ice Sports. Yeah, I got sponsored by them, and they kind of took me under their wing. But I was in foster care, and they would always ground me from skating, and they wouldn't let me do what I loved. So kind of sucked, but I mean, I got out of there within 9 to 10 months. My father got me back out, and then I was out skating again. I went to that contest in Calgary. It was called Slam City Jam the first weekend after I got out. I graduated high school in 2009. I've been just traveling since 2010, I'd say. I was doing some in high school in 2008 and 2009, but the more so traveling started in 2010. I'm about to go on a trip right now to California for about 2 weeks. I'm going to be staying in Huntington Beach, California. I'm going to be in California filming for the Blind video. It comes out in March. Then from there, I'm going to Tampa, Florida to go skate for a week for a contest called Tampa Am. It's every year. There's a huge contest there. It's been going on for about 20 years now. And then I kind of come home for Christmas, and then hopefully I go back on another trip and just get out of here. Woo woo!
You know, TJ's got a good heart. Like, he helps a lot of kids out, teaches them how to skateboard. He's not afraid to teach somebody something. You know, like, he's not afraid that somebody might get better than him. You know, he just does his best, and it is what it is.
Damn, it must feel good to be a skater. Kick flipping the timber is a genuine art.
I can do it.
Boy, for a second I thought I'd heard everything.
Buckle up, you've seen nothing yet.
You wish.
My name is Saurin Galloway. I was raised in Reno, Nevada for 16 years of my life. I have a background in ceramics before I came to Canada. I went to George Brown College for about 2 years, my previous post-secondary education. And then I came to Centennial, and here I am at this point, working on stuff, and I'm in second year fine arts. I'm a mixed media artist, so I use anything that you can essentially put onto a canvas. I majorly use street aesthetics, which would be spray cans, graphic markers, pastels, anything you can essentially put onto a canvas at any given point. So, including different papers, collage, pencil, crayon, pens, markers, anything you can possibly use. The best thing about being an artist like me would have to be the freedom and the hours to work whenever you want. Like, you only make money whenever you push yourself the hardest it is. You are your own boss. You're an entrepreneur. And the amount of hours you pump into something is totally instant gratification for the work that you can produce. I have an immediate amount of free time. I have lots of people that I meet every day. I collaborate with a multitude of great people, and there's always something new to learn. Like, the field itself that I'm in is never gets stale. I would say I have a good juxtaposition between what fine art and street art is. So a combination of lowbrow and highbrow. So I bring something new to the table by joining two entirely different types of art themselves. And so I represent a multitude of different, you could say, cultures that are especially native to Toronto. And yeah. Do I think my personal appearance reflects my work? Yes.
And why?
Why does it? Simply because, I don't know, it's wild, it's out there, and I don't really give a fuck about wearing anything in particular. It's the same thing as my painting. I don't care what I'm painting as long as I'm painting, right? I don't care what I'm wearing as long as I'm wearing something. So if that's bright pink neon fur on Tuesday, you know, hey, it's bright pink fur on Tuesday. I'm okay with that.
Oh, perfect. I got one question, Toni. Tell me, who's next?
You tell me. It's your master plan.
Well, Arjun's gonna show you how makeup is done.
Was that so hard?
You have ruined my plan.
So girls are always pressured to look beautiful every day because of what is shown in the media. You're always shown actresses with like flawless skin, hair that stays in place. So of course, girls want to look like actresses.
If you were to ask me about 5 years ago, I would have said yes, very much so. I would never leave the house without makeup. But over time, you know, I've learned to slowly take it off and be comfortable with who I am and be comfortable with my own skin. Just so if I do go out, that's not holding me back, but I can still say, look, I believe that I'm beautiful. It doesn't matter exactly how perfect everything is, but I can be beautiful with my flaws and still, you know, have confidence in my own self. So I don't feel insecure if I don't wear makeup.
I've had someone come up to me and be like, are you sick today? Like, are you okay? Are you tired? And it's just like, no, I had 10 hours of sleep, right? But it's just, you know, they're so used to girls having makeup on or having that extra pop of lip color, you know, pop of cheek color and those kind of makeup like that they're so used to. And I feel like guys kind of, even for men, they're so used to seeing women with makeup on, and then if you don't have makeup on, they're just like, oh, she's not like, you know, that dressed up, or she's not all that, or she's all that, not that pretty. And I think it takes kind of that stopping moment for be like, oh, but she's naturally beautiful. And it's kind of nice when you hear men say that, because it's just so like, oh, why aren't you wearing makeup on today? Like, you look so dead, you look so tired, like, what's wrong with you, right? And it's like we wake up in the morning and go to men and be like, what's wrong with you, right? Like, they don't wear makeup, but we're used to that. We've accepted that. And I feel like North America, we'd only accept that natural beauty is a thing as well, and that'd be a nice change.
So there are several reasons why girls choose to wear makeup. One is to add on a touch of glow to their face to enhance their natural beauty. Second is to show their creative side. Girls like to play with color and use different makeups that are out in the industry right now. Another reason is that society always judges you every day. So you cannot just simply wake out of bed and go to school. You feel like you need to wear makeup so people don't go, oh, why does she look so pale today? Why isn't her hair combed? To counterattack those comments, girls wear makeup. So if society stops judging one another, there probably wouldn't be any use for makeup anymore.
I feel like Photoshop is a big driver, I guess, in magazines and in a lot of print and advertising. And yes, makeup does its part of the job, but then there's another whole bit that can be done through Photoshop. Like, there's even like sites now, makeup sites, where you can actually upload your photo with no makeup on your face, and there's presets and all kinds of things that you can literally do your makeup virtually online. And that's just the beginning of it. When you put it in Photoshop, you can literally change facial structures, you can change everything about the person to the point where you may have not or can never look like that with makeup. So makeup does have its limitations, and Photoshop and, you know, the way technology is just moving forward, we can look like anybody tomorrow. It's a big thing.
Okay, women are pressured in general to be beautiful because of media and because of all those things. But when you get down to the point, when you get down to the basics of it, as women, we know that men are visual creatures, and we do have to put on some sort of presentation, some sort of I guess, show for them, because we are trying to attract the opposite sex, and that's how men work, that's how women work, and from generation to generation, that's what we've done. We've created this beauty so that we can attract the opposite sex, and we can continue on doing what our lives are meant to do, you know, reproduce and things like that. We have gotten to a point of impossibility in pressure of how to be beautiful because of all the photoshopping and all the editing and getting the perfect person as our image and as our model. So there is, you know, we have gone over the limit a little bit, and I don't agree with that, but we do have to put on some sort of visual appeal because we want to, you know, look appropriate for the opposite sex. Because I mean, as men, they're not gonna want a woman that's slouchy and you know, just hanging out everywhere and not wearing anything, or, you know, they're not attracted to that. And as women, yeah, we're not gonna be totally submissive to men and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not getting into the whole feminism thing, but we do have to put on some sort of appeal to the opposite sex, and I believe that that is an important part in being a woman. But I mean, it depends on how far we go with it, right? So.
2, 1.
Zombies! Pull yourself together, man. I got this. Next up, we bring you to the streets of Toronto to witness the plague.
It was a week before Hallows Eve. The overcast gray sky grew darker in downtown Toronto, and then a putrid smell in the air shot an uneasy chill down my spine. And then all at once, a cry for brains echoed in the distance. Like a swarm of locusts they came, and they were hungry. Very hungry. It was only by appearing as the undead that I avoided any bites. And then I began the search for my friend. Could he still be living? I had to check where it all began. City Hall. He had been through this flesh-eating endeavor before and took the time to thoroughly prepare for it. With enough preparation and makeup, he might be able to move through the downtown core unscathed. But unfortunately, his luck just ran out, and he joined the Legion of the Dead. I learned that the plague returned every year, and the zombie count continued to grow and grow, until a large dedicated legion of the undead spread itself out in the downtown Toronto core.
Again, a week before each Hallows Eve. Prepare yourself.
God. Oh, so they were fake zombies.
Not this time.
No, I'm not a zombie. Wow. So while we hide that body, we're going to celebrate the Day of the Dead. Maybe you'll see this guy there.
Villages, and the dead come back to visit the living. But don't worry about it, because they're smiling, and so should you. Let's check it out.
We met some colorful characters here at Harborfront. When we left Katrina and Katrina, I figured I should cheat to some music. There we found a lovely musician, Pedro Montago, and his rhythmic guitar. We came rather early for his show, really early. As I wait for things to liven up, I went back to follow my nose to culture's food. I took particular interest in the sweetness of it. Speaking of sweet, we met a sweet old lady at the festival. Ah, the altars containing the favorite food, photos, and memorabilia of the departed. Things really picked up when we went back to Pedro Montego as he combines his talents with the members and participants of the traditional folklore dance company. With all this cultural art, I wanted to end the bombshell on my artisticness, using their traditional Mexican clay sculptures. I wasn't really good.
I never thought of death like that before. That's the last time I regret capping thugs who don't know. They don't know.
Eve. Get some peace.
Not yet? Okay, it's time for war.
I've been having a 2-year battle with squirrels and with my lawn. I love my lawn. As you can see, it's a beautiful lawn. People think they're just like, little animals that run around and you just ignore them. But they're destructive. Okay? And I didn't attack them first. They attacked my lawn and they attacked me. And now I have to fight them. The squirrels are burying nuts from the tree, from the fruit from the tree, seeds. Okay? And I got holes all over my lawn. All over my lawn. Okay? Every fall I have this problem. All over. One got locked in there and look. You see how it tried to get out? See? It tried to eat its way out. You see that little sucker? See that little piece of oil? I can't stand this. Let me get it. Running out the rocks.
Why can't you just poison them?
Well, let's say it's illegal. I can't do that. I can't poison them. I can't poison them. One of these days I might burn down its house. These animals are not just little things to ignore. They're destructive. And it's a war. I didn't ask for this battle. It came to me. I'm gonna see it through.
Got mad love for the dead. Speaking of love, how do you like your eggs in the morning?
Unfertilized.
Oh, dude needs some ice for that bird!
I really love this next one more than pizza, and I love pizza.
When I first saw Stephanie, she was situated across this large room, and it was a music program at university, so all the sopranos or all the girls are on the other side, and all the males, the bass voices, are where I was. And I look across this wall of females, and she stood out. But was it love? No, of course not.
I don't know what love is because I'm 15 and I've never been in love, or I don't think I've been in love, so I don't really know what it is.
Love means the different types of feelings that we have for many different individuals and different things that, evolve throughout our lives.
Love has its own meaning, and everyone has their own experience and definition of it.
I don't know if I'm in love. Does that make sense?
Love to me, being in mid-20s, I think is a big difference than thinking you're in love in high school, where like in high school it's more about infatuation than in being in love with someone.
I think that I like teens that get into relationships and rush into relationships and say that they love the other person after like a week or like a month. I don't think that's love. I think it's infatuation.
You can love different types of people in different ways. I also feel like there's different stages of love. When you say it once, I don't think it has the same meaning when you, not necessarily later, but when you say it, it's different every time.
How long have we tried to figure out the meaning of love throughout the centuries? Who can really pinpoint exactly what it means to be in love or to love something? Some say if you love something so much you're willing to let it go. I'm not quite sure if I believe that or not. But
love is when you say goodbye to people and trains, and you say love to all your friends when you're going home and when it's time, and when you love everybody, a step you're trained in your cars or stuff.
The older you get, it's about finding the right person. It's not about the looks. It's not about how much money they have, or what they have. It's not a competition. Love is basically is about being equal with your partner. You never think you're better than anyone else. You don't think more or less of anyone.
As romantic cliche as it's gonna sound, you just know. You honestly just know.
it definitely means that you are able to see yourself either with that person eternally, forever, and to look past any of the faults that they may have, and obviously the hope that they will look past the faults that you have yourself.
Love means food. And celebrities like Zac Efron and Jake Puckerman from Glee, and now Taylor Lautner because of Twilight. So yeah. That's love.
I feel like when you're in love, you know you're in love. You don't need to wait for it. So the fact that I haven't said it yet makes me think, like, is that just maybe not going to happen? Or maybe we haven't had sort of maybe that, like, distance to make us realize how much we really care about each other, or maybe we haven't had something happen to make us realize, that, we're there. Or, I don't know. When it happens, it'll happen.
I don't know, it's something that you can't really explain or put a standard to or put a comparison to. Usually you set a specific aspect or ideology by a standard or comparison you have from a previous experience, but I guess when it comes to love, it's something on its own, and you just know.
If you have the worst day, just the worst day of life, and you just want to go home, and you hit every red light, and every jerk off is cutting you off. Can I say that? Sorry. And everyone is just cutting you off, and it's the worst day ever, and you get home, and the only thing that you can think of is you hope the other person had a better day than you did. You don't even worry about what's for dinner or what do I do, or you're not focused on you, but you're actually truly focused on the other person, and that person's happiness makes you smile. That's love.
We've just about covered every base in this episode.
Maybe not all of them.
Relax, no more bases for you.
Toni Francis, everybody. I'm Win Sandman. Have a good time.
Yeah, show's over. Yeah. The last one what? We're ending of the show.
We're dancing. I'm not dancing.
I don't know if there's music. Is there music?
There's no music, so
There's
we're just
no
chilling.
music at the end of the journal? No. That's...
Lights maybe,
that's
something?
unfortunate.
You know?
Something?
You don't do shit.
Anything? Yes, please do it in post, Jake. Woo. Woo. Woo.
Cool.
Fate's black. Fate's black.
That was interesting.